I've got this old school song in my head. Gonna make this a night to remember. Get ready tonight. It's in my head because the last Zero Fucks Tuesday event for 2023 is coming up, and I use that song to post over it on a story, and I just love that tune and that track and that old school R&B. For those of you who are in Melbourne on Tuesday, the 21st of November, it's the final Zero Fucks dance party. I haven't booked any events in for next year, and there's a reason why, which I'll get to in a minute because it's today's theme that I want to talk about. But it is the last one. It's R&B, old school classics on the night of Tuesday, the 21st of November at the Space in Paran. So if you're free from 6:45 till 8:30 p.m, want to come and dance, blow off some steam, free some shit that you might be carrying that you're aware of or that you don't even know you're aware of, or that the weight of the world is just feeling a little too heavy, I highly, highly recommend a night to let loose, relax, be among some really cool humans, shift whatever's going on internally and create some space for something different, space for healing, space for joy, space for fun, space for whatever it may be for you. So I'd love for you to be there. Tuesday, the 21st of November, tickets are down in the show notes. But yeah, what I want to talk to today is really the question, what are you putting off? And, I tend to ask myself these types of questions just to get me looking in the little nooks and crannies of my life where I might be hiding something from myself. My ego, let's put it that way. My ego is hiding something from me, or it's like, you're not putting anything off. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's great, but something internally, something deep inside of you knows that I know that I am putting something off. And often we might know already what that something is, but our ego continues to try and hide it from us. So the reason I haven't booked any events in for next year is because I'm just reassessing some things in my business. As a solopreneur, that's what we do. And just to check in to see where everything that I'm currently doing, does it still sit? Does it still land? Does it still feel true? Does it feel right? Does it feel good? And so where am I at in relationship to that? And I, will often do that every couple of years. And I can just feel that it's the time to do that. But I have also been putting it off. I have been putting it off. And by it, I mean looking at aspects of my business, not just what I have on offer, but aspects of my business like support. I have low support. I have, support that has served me for some time, but now I've gotten to a point where I need more help. I need more hands. I need more, I do. I need more help. But I've been unwilling to do that because in my story, in my ego story, if I start to look at that, then I start to see the things that I also haven't done or I haven't looked at, tended to put in place because I have had minimal support. I've had enough support, but, enough for, let's say, 2 years ago, Kat. But now the current Kat that I am requires additional support, additional help. And yeah, by looking at that question, what am I putting off, and knowing the answer, it then opens up Pandora's box of, okay, well, because we haven't had support, this hasn't been put in place. because we haven't had that additional support, that hasn't been put in place. And as a result, you've really bled your energy there. You've had energy leaking out here. And that's contributed to you being tired or exhausted or over it, or sometimes questioning what you're doing and why you're doing it. So by asking the question, what am I putting off? It opens up Pandora's box, shows me what needs to be looked at, all the other, I guess, other micro and sometimes macro things that I've been putting off. And then it's like, shit. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Here's the work, and I guess what I've noticed then is that I have carried the story of, no, it's okay. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I've got it. I can do it. I've got it. I can do it. I've got it. And I don't want to carry that anymore. I guess this is coming off the back of those couple of weeks where I was sharing in that doneness, that level of doneness that we are with stories. And this is another one that's carrying through. I'm done with I can do it. I can do it, but do I want to do it? And so I've been putting off getting support. I've been putting off getting help. And so as a result of asking that question and then seeing okay, I know where I need to focus. I've reached out to external support. I've reached out to a coach to support me and help me with my business, to help me look at, okay, what can you see? What can you see from your perspective? This is what I can see. What else can you see? And that's why we invest in support. That's why we invest in help, coaches, psychologists, kinesiologists, whoever it is that you see, because you have a certain lens on an aspect of life or you or someone. And then you reach out to someone else who is nailing it in the area that needs to be nailed, or needs to be improved, evolved, etc. And then they look at it with their widened lens, wider perspective, and they're able to see, okay, well, what about this, that, and the other? It's like, okay, cool. So that's where I'm currently at, through asking the question, what am I putting off? And I want to bring this to the table today because I firstly want to, I guess, respect the reasons why we don't ask ourselves these types of questions, because it then reveals an answer. And in those answers, it reveals more answers, more questions, more roadblocks, more Pandora's box stuff. And so then we may go into overwhelm. We may feel stressed. We may feel anxious. We may then want to bury it, but we can't bury it because we've seen it and we've felt it. And it can all seem too much. So then it's easier, so we say, to not ask the questions, to not see what we're putting off, and to then not get support. And that support doesn't always need to be paid support. It could be talking to a friend. It could be getting advice from a colleague that who's willing to just jam with you and exchange with you. But yeah, I know that I've put it off because I know that by asking this question, it's really going to ask me to step up, to implement more systems and structure in a way that's going to support the cat that I am now and the cat that the where I am moving to. I need greater supports in place, greater structures in place. And what's that? That's going to take work. That's going to take time. But there's a willingness for that, because now I can see the leaking energy, the tiredness and the exhaustion that was going into carrying everything, or most things. And no, I got it. I'm good. No, yeah, I got time. Yeah, I'm done with that one. So that's my question to you. What are you putting off? Is it a conversation? Is it an approach to life that you've been thinking about, pondering? Is it a practice that you're wanting to adopt and put into place and make it a habit and then make it a ritual? Is it looking at your finances? I remember one of my clients, the resistance she had to looking at her money was quite gnarly. Like, it literally made her sick. And in one of our sessions, we opened the laptop, looked at her money together, and let the emotions that were there, that were stopping her in the beginning, just flood through, move through her, feel it, flood it, let it be, feel it, flood it, let it be, feel it, flood it, let it be. And then as a result, over time, she's been able to just look at her finances with neutral eyes, neutral heart, neutral emotions. It could be that you're putting off tending to your well-being, having a hard chat with yourself, speaking to a friend about the way that they've been around you or talking down to you. You'll know what it is. It's that very thing that you know is there that you're avoiding because it's going to be hard. And that's okay. It's hard to your ego because your ego has done the job of protecting you from seeing it, feeling it, and addressing it. It's hard for your ego because it's going to see that if you no longer put this off, you're going to evolve beyond it. You're going to evolve beyond it because you're willing to do hard things. You're willing to go into what's difficult rather than avoid and stay away from it. But like I said, I have absolute respect for reasons why we don't. I'm right in the thick of it right now, and I'm like, fuck, gosh, sometimes it's good to be ignorant. But, I've been through this time and time and time again, and I know that it's not, deep down, I know that it's not great to be ignorant. I'd rather, be clear and face shit head on than run and hide from whatever might be there. So that's my invitation to you today. Short, sharp podcast. What are you putting off?